To begin. How to start.
Welcome to Cock and Bull Minute, a Tristram Shandy story. A podcast in which, eventually, ostensibly, at some point, we will be talking about the 2005 film Tristram Shandy, a cock and bull story, 1 minute at a time.
Good Lord, what is this story all about?
Cock and a bull story.
Here's your host, me, Robert Black. I don't know how these episodes start now. I finally recorded an introduction for them, and now I don't know what to say. So hello.
Hello.
I also forget what I say in the introduction. I've only used it once. I just made it last week. I believe it establishes, let's see, blah, 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 title of the show. Here's your host. I think I introduced myself as the host, and then I say me. Okay. So, hello. I'm here with Alice. You don't use your last name on Facebook, but it's...
Yeah, I choose Alice Lauren. That's okay.
Ostensibly, we're here to talk about Tristram Shandy, a cock and bull story, but I'm betting you've never seen that.
I've never even heard of it.
It happens. I've only seen it once. In 2005, when it came out on DVD, actually, I watched it. Didn't even see it in the theater. And I'm not sure if I'm going to watch the whole thing again before I finally start doing it minute by minute.
It's a movie or a TV show?
It is a movie, based on the novel, the multi-volume novel from, I think, the 1700s by Lawrence Stern, which is this really rambling, often distracted narrative of Tristram Shandy, who's trying to tell his life story. But he keeps getting distracted by tangents, and it takes him several volumes to get to his own birth, because he has so many tangents about his parents and relatives and other things going on in the world at the time he was born. And which, actually, I thought of last night watching the Golden Globes, because, what's her name? Did the Lifetime Achievement for TV. Ellen DeGeneres was making, jokes about how they wouldn't play her off the stage because she was getting a special award. And she's like, but I'm going to keep it short.
Oh, yeah.
And then starts with, so I was born, and starts telling her whole life story on stage.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of those, sometimes I use those, put you to sleep podcast things. It kind of bores you until you fall asleep, and they go on different tangents and different. It's amazing, but you sleep pretty quick.
No, I know you were watching the Golden Globes yesterday.
Yeah.
Had you seen a lot of the movies?
Not a lot. I think I took a quiz that it was you've seen, between the movies and TV, you've seen 12 out of 60 or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
But yeah, so not a ton of, I feel like I've seen a lot of movies, especially in theaters. I've seen more than I've ever, seen before, but, because I always thought of it, as a treat, and then I was dating someone who was let's just go to the movies, and I'm like, this is not as much of a treat anymore, although I do like it. But the problem is that I don't want to go see all these big dramatic things. I want to see big movies, of course, but I want to be relaxed and have fun, and it's comedic, and sure, I like to think and everything, but do I really want to go? Do I really want to go see 1917 or whatever? I mean, come on, it looks, I don't know, both fascinating and boring at the same time, I guess, in a sense.
It's not boring, but if you're not into, the structure of it with the war thing, and the trailers do a bad job of telling you what the movie is, because the movie is set up like it's one long take.
Oh.
And so it's following them in real time as they're trying to get, behind enemy lines.
Mm-hmm.
But, so it's not boring, but yeah, if you don't think you're going to be interested when you see the trailer, you probably shouldn't see it. But if you are going to see it, I would say see it on a big screen.
Yeah, of course, if you like the subject matter and everything there, I mean, anything can be interesting. Two Popes can be, interesting if you're all into popes or whatever, but well,
I'm not even into popes, but I like the Two Popes. That movie was cool. It's just two old guys talking, but they're two, great actors.
Well, yeah, and it took me a bit, because I thought it was a documentary, and then I'm like, Anthony Hopkins was never the Pope.
No, neither was Jonathan Pryce, but they both do pretty good in that movie.
Mm.
I'd seen, other than, two of the foreign film nominees, I think I'd seen everything up for movie. Oh, no, and Harriet. I hadn't seen Harriet.
Yeah.
But it was only up for actress.
Yeah, I do want to see Parasite.
Parasite is wonderful.
I heard that's, a very, thinker, deep kind of movie. And then I do have to, as the director said, kind of get over the subtitles and
Yeah.
you know, let myself kind of enjoy that. I mean, I know someone was saying that it had like one kind of bloody scene. It's set up as like a horror film, but it's not a horror film because that kind of scared me away. Is that it sounds scary too?
Yeah, when I saw the first trailer for that, and I knew the director, because his first movie I saw was The Host, which is a monster movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it also has like social commentary going on and other stuff, but it's structured as a monster movie. I thought this was a horror film.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a horror film.
No.
I mean, its plot could fit a horror film, you know, like family finagling themselves into someone else's house one by one, and then some people end up dead.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a horror film. It's like this big social commentary thing. But it's also, you know, I think 2+ hours long, and you got to read the subtitles. So for a lot of people, they wouldn't even go near it.
Yeah.
Which is too bad for them. But like yesterday, I saw Pain and Glory, which is a Spanish film that was also up for it didn't win, but it was up for it. And I loved it, you know, but yeah, you got to read it. So you got to be in the mood for that. I like foreign films, but I don't watch them at home a lot.
Yeah.
Because I know at home, it's way too easy to be distracted.
Yeah, that's true too.
And so, like, you want to pick up your phone and check something. Even sometimes I'll just look up something about the movie I'm watching, if nothing else. So if I'm watching a foreign film, I have to be able to focus. And so I like seeing them in the theater far more than watching them at home.
Yeah, I guess. I'm always reading, because I just really like closed captions in general anyway. So
I always have captions on.
Yeah.
But if you have to read them, you have to be able to focus on them, which isn't always the easiest thing to do.
Right. Yeah. When was that? I'm just looking. Yeah, so this must have been 2 years ago. So I was just thinking what other foreign film I've seen recently, and I saw Cold War, that Polish film, and it wasn't very good. I saw that one in theaters.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago, I think. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I saw that was released just about 2 years ago. That's amazing.
Wait, is that the married couple that their kid disappears? Is that movie?
No, it's the impossible romance with different backgrounds.
Oh, the black and white one. Okay. Yeah, this was last year. I was thinking of the movie Loveless, which came out the year before.
I don't even know. Yeah, this was 2018. And then was the ballerina movie one, I think, was pretty recently too.
There was a foreign film?
Well, I don't know if it was. Maybe it wasn't not foreign. Maybe parts of it. I'm trying to remember.
It depends which ballerina movie. The first one I thought of is Black Swan.
Yeah, I know. No,
but that's not a foreign film.
Swan, but the guy one, the one the male dancer. What the heck? I'm like Magic Mike. No, the foreign film Magic Mike. No, it was I think it was the white something. White Crow. There we go.
Oh, I don't think I saw
the
that.
White Crow. Oh, yes. It was last year. It was directed by Ralph Fiennes, right? That's how you say his name.
Rafe.
Ralph Fiennes.
Rafe Fiennes.
Oh, Rafe Fiennes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see this movie.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, because I'm Russian, so sometimes I've seen those Russian films. I took a Russian film course in college and everything there, and so.
Oh yeah, it's about Nureyev. Okay.
Yeah.
Story of Rudolf Nureyev's defection to the West. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Made me think of White Knights movie from the 80s about dancers that.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Reznikov was in. I love that movie. I've seen that many times because we had it on video.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't see this one.
And what else was? Let's see. I mean, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I groaned every time it won something, because what a horrible movie. I get it. It's a love letter, to the 60s? I don't want to
it's the 60s.
No, the 60s. But oh god.
My problem with Tarantino is he's clearly a really good filmmaker, but he is immediately after Reservoir Dogs, he was allowed free reign to do whatever he wanted in film.
Oh.
And I think he took that in the wrong direction, and he is way too indulgent in his own fetishes and his own weird enjoyment, like violence for fun, often disproportionately against women.
Yeah.
When it's fun. And which this movie has a bunch of at the end. It's like, yeah, those are awful people about to commit murders, but that doesn't mean we have to laugh and cheer when you beat them up.
Oh, yeah.
And his movies increasingly have bugged me.
I mean, I liked, yeah.
And then he started doing the advertising thing where he was numbering them. It's like, this is the 9th film, and I'm like, shut up. It's not a collector's set. You need to stop it.
Yeah, I mean, I was always, turned off, because
Of course, this is the 9th episode from Cock and Bull Minutes.
because I don't like the, bloody, gory, violent stuff, so I'm like, I never want to see Kill Bill, I don't want to see, all these things.
Yeah.
I don't know if Pulp Fiction is or not, but yeah, but so I mean, there were like some that I saw.
He gets great performances out of his actors. I mean, that Brad Pitt, he won yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Or was he just nominated?
He won.
Did he win? Yeah, he won for supporting. Like, I was fine with that. He was great in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
His character has some flaws, but they're in the writing and the directing, not in the acting. And so I'm good with it. Same with Joaquin Phoenix. I didn't particularly like Joker as a film. But Joaquin Phoenix was amazing in that movie.
He was really good, yeah. Yeah. Was Django and of course I loved Inglourious Bastards. As a Jewish person, I loved Inglourious Bastards. But like, was there more gore or less gore there than like the earlier Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill stuff? Like,
Kill Bill's definitely got the most.
Okay, I'm basically trying to ask if I should be afraid or not.
If you don't like blood, don't watch Kill Bill, because they're literally scenes. There is a scene that was filmed, processed at least, deliberately in black and white, because you could get away with more blood as long as it's not red when it comes to the ratings board.
Ooh.
And there's a scene that's deliberately animated. And a scene that's deliberately silhouettes behind like a screen, so he could get around a ratings board while having excessive amounts of blood, because he's doing like a sort of exploitation movie 70s style with a lot of martial arts violence and excessive blood. And that's deliberate. He does that deliberately. And so Kill Bill's got the most. There's not a lot of that in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but when it comes to violence, it's having fun with violence.
Yeah, it's more about like the pretty aesthetic and and obviously the way that he handles women and everything. I mean, I know someone was saying, I think on Twitter yesterday, that like he was saying all these nice things about his actors, and then like Margot Robbie saying, oh, her goodness, shows so much of what he thinks women bring to the screen.
Which she does. I mean, her character in the film, as the film
wasn't much,
exists, is basically sort of innocent, who just happens to be wandering around the town, and we all know at the end of the movie she's gonna die.
Yeah.
Because that's the story.
Right.
And wait, you haven't seen it, right?
I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'll say spoilers for the listener and just warn them, but I don't want to spoil it for you if you hadn't seen it. Spoilers. In the movie, she doesn't die. That's how he twists the whole history thing, like he did with Inglourious Bastards before, and alter the end of the story. But that's the setup, is she's this innocent that we just keep coming back to as she's having a good day.
Yeah.
Which is a lovely thing if you think about an ending where she dies. I think subverting the ending actually screws with her portrayal, because now she's just a useless appendage in a movie that didn't have anything to do with her.
Yeah.
Which is even worse, that she has almost no dialogue.
Yeah, exactly. Right, yeah, she was just there to look pretty, yeah.
I mean, maybe there's more to her in a longer cut of the film, but I don't want to see a longer cut of the film.
Oh god, no. I was already like, what is I'm just looking at my friend in horror like, what the heck? What is, there's no story. There's a story somewhere.
Which even that, I'm fine with it. Like, the central relationship of Leonardo and Brad's characters is great. Like a little movie about like an actor and a stuntman who are friends, and like both of their careers are kind of been around a while, might be getting too old. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But then you latch onto it all this historical stuff, and it's like you expect something else from it, and I don't like where he went with it.
Yeah, there was a lot I had to Google, like, oh, this person was based. I mean, I did a little
60s history was like a favorite of mine as a history major undergrad, so I was enjoying that stuff. Like, they did a good job visually of displaying like 60s Hollywood and stuff, so I appreciated it. It didn't make my top movies of the year list, but I appreciate it. I wouldn't give Tarantino Director's Award for it.
Yeah.
Which they didn't, so I was okay with that. They did give him a screenplay. Ugh.
Yeah, maybe not for the screenplay either. That's what's bizarre too, but okay.
I'm hoping the Oscars will treat that a little differently. He'll probably get nominated, but the Oscars split the screenplay category up instead of the Best Picture category. And so maybe it'll end up playing a little differently. Because like here, his movies even got nominated as a comedy, which it's not.
Yeah, that too.
And so then it wins because it's a more, I don't know, not in depth, but it's more elaborate comedy, in quotes, than Dolomite Is My Name or Knives Out is actually more complex. I don't know how they decided that.
Right.
I wouldn't have given it to it, but yeah, it won.
Oh, it was on. Oh, yeah. My friend was telling me about Tom Hanks being. I think it was Tom Hanks being nominated as Best Supporting Actor, and he was like, "What? What do you mean Best Supporting Actor? It's a movie about Mr. Rogers."
Well, it's not though.
Right, I had a feeling it was an interviewer.
The advertising makes it feel like it's going to be like a biopic about Mr. Rogers. It's not that. He is a supporting character in the film.
Yeah.
So that's
that, and also they can kind of submit themselves as anything. If it's a strong race and lead, then
Oh yeah.
So.
Sometimes you nominate yourself in a category, or your agent or your people do, because it's easier for you to get into that category, not because it's where you properly fit. And like the Academy, I don't think has restrictions on that, like screen time. Like people have won with a few minutes of screen time for things, and I think Frances McDormand won for Fargo I think she won as lead. And though it feels like she's in a lot of that movie, she has only like 20 some minutes of screen time, I think.
Wow.
Because the movie keeps going to other characters. Because she has this interesting backbone to the story. It feels like she's in more of it.
Huh.
But that's what she would win. If you put her supporting, who was she up against? I don't remember who she was up against that year. I don't have it in front of me, but, maybe she wouldn't have won. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a political aspect to it.
But yeah, going down other winners. I mean, Judy. I did see Judy.
Oh,
Judy was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Renee.
I was glad she won.
Down deserved that.
Yeah.
The farewell. The farewell is in English, right?
Yes.
I was like not sure. Okay.
There's a little bit in not in English, but it's subtitled. But the movie is in English.
Yeah. For the most part.
Because the grandmother character doesn't speak English.
Oh, okay.
And so that's one of the ways they get around telling her, like they have a conversation about the fact she has cancer while she's in the room, but she doesn't know what they're saying.
Oh, okay. Makes more sense. I do have to see Marriage Story, but it is one of those...
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, I know it's on Netflix. It's one of those things where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna sit down and watch the breakup of a marriage,
Yeah.
It's not something you're gonna really... I mean, you might enjoy it for just watching it. I don't know how to put it.
It depends how you define enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy it, yeah. Oh, yes, a breakup.
I mean, on some level, yes, I enjoyed that film. On another level, it, broke my heart and, made me feel horrible.
Yeah.
Because, I'm divorced. I've been in we didn't have an embattled, divorce with lawyers and all that, but still the feelings that are in some of those scenes of, yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, and then Laura Dern was nominated in that movie, and I didn't see that one, but I did see her. I just saw Little Women, which I don't know how I really felt about that one. I don't know if that was nominated really.
It wasn't nominated for the Golden Globes, I don't think.
No,
it's nominated for I think Critics' Choice next week and SAG, I think maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I felt about Little Women. I'm trying to remember exactly.
The cool one with that is that Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach, they're married.
Yeah.
He directed Marriage Story, she directed Little Women.
Right.
They're both nominated for, I think it's Critics' Choice next week, for director, up against each other, which I think is cool.
Oh.
I think it's the first time it's ever happened that husband and wife were nominated the same year.
Oh, that's cute.
And watching Little Women, it's a fairly basic adaptation of the book, it's a story we've seen before. But I think Greta Gerwig, it's only her second feature, right? Directing, and she is really good at what she's doing. She knows what she's doing, and I'm looking forward to more from her.
Yeah, I think maybe that it was too, it's good that it was modern, but maybe I'm trying to remember exactly what my issues were. That it was too modern, or was something about some of the writing.
Well, she played the story less linear than usual. She put it back and forth between the the 7-year.
I think that's what it is. Also, yeah, some of it I couldn't understand if it was now, if it was flashback, if it was a dream sequence, if it was, there were a lot of strange.
Well, yeah, and I've never read that book, so my primary measurement is the 90s movie with like Winona Ryder and Claire Danes, and I don't remember who else was in that, Kirsten Dunst maybe.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Batman. Christian Bale.
Oh, wow.
As Laurie. Like, that's the one I'm thinking of, and I'm like, I didn't even remember it covering that much time. I thought the sister just got sick once and then died. I'm like, was that from the book? Did they change that for that movie or change it for this movie? And I don't know.
Oh.
But it was interesting, because then it was giving me something different than I expected. So, I appreciated that.
Interesting. And then let's see. So, yeah, we had Joaquin Phoenix and Joker. I mean, I had a lot of people like, oh, don't go see Joker. Kind of glamorizing the male shooter, the mental illness, all that stuff, which I don't think it really did necessarily. I mean, it did, obviously, with, like, the whole thing when they were all supporting him on the streets and dressing up. I mean, obviously, like, that is, supporting a villain, but in a way, I think it really, I don't know, it was poignant, it was interesting. I mean, it definitely shook you, some of those very scary killings. There weren't too many of them, but there were some.
Well, yeah, when it got to violence, it treated it as real.
So I definitely like that. It wasn't, it wasn't very comic book, but, well, it was, I don't know. It wasn't a very comic book, but it was more of like a piece about mental illness and kind of how we really need to have more of that access in this country. I mean, it was definitely great social commentary.
It certainly touches on that. I don't know if the movie is about it as much as it thinks it is, but it's like dealing with a real world sort of problem and playing on it. I have problems with that movie. That's actually one of them, is I think it uses that topic more as a jumping off point than as an actual, like, story device.
Okay.
Which it could have made more of, but at least it's trying, I guess.
Although, had a great review. Rocketman.
Yeah.
Great. Amazing.
Rocketman was great.
I still need to watch the Bohemian Rhapsody one. I think I, started 2 seconds, in, but yeah, I still have to watch that one. I don't know.
Yeah, that was good too.
I know there was a lot of, weird kind of, I know there was, the Beatles one, which I still have to see that.
You mean Yesterday?
Kind of the what if you woke up and there's, no Beatles or whatever.
Yeah, Yesterday.
But yeah, Rocketman. I mean, I love Taron Egerton. I don't think he's going to be in the new Kingsman, but I loved all the Kingsman.
Yeah, because it's a flashback, so he's not in there.
Oh, okay. Well, Joker got original score. I mean, I think we're the first woman to, or maybe not, maybe first woman.
I don't know if it's the first, but it's definitely a big deal.
Yeah, in many years. Oh, Best Motion Picture. This is not Frozen 2's year. Another one that I think I'm waiting for it to come out in, the $3 theater or something.
It's a pretty good movie, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, the animated category was weird because it was, 3 sequels and Disney movies to boot. Yeah, 3 sequels and a remake. It was Frozen 2, How to Train Your Dragon. What's that? 3.
Not sure.
Toy Story 4, and then the Lion King movie, which technically isn't.
Which I found out yesterday.
Was billed as live action.
I found out yesterday. I think I asked my speaker. I'm not going to say it right now. But I asked my speaker, were there any live animals? Because I thought it was live animals in the Lion King, but with, a lot of, effects, a lot of, mouth moving.
Yeah, that's what it felt like they were going to make when they announced it. But no, I believe there is only one live action shot in the entire movie, and it's the opening scene with the sun rising.
Oh.
Everything else is CGI background, CGI animals.
Animated. So it's just kind of look how far we've come. Yeah.
So yeah, it is more animated, but that's not how they sold the movie.
Yeah, because what I read, Lady and the Tramp, they got real shelter dogs,
Yeah.
Put that out there, but
cool.
This one, they couldn't even get a bunch of lions. I don't know, but I'm sure whatever, you could train anything.
Or just make it like Cats,
Cats,
people in costumes.
That's all we needed. Yeah. Ugh. would have been great. But yeah, it was.
But then Missing Link beats those. And Missing Link, I like Leica, the company that made them, because they did Kubo and the Two Strings, which was wonderful.
Oh.
Missing Link is cute and is great animation.
I thought Missing Link was going to be like, I didn't see that one because I thought that it was going to be like the Yeti movie that I saw feels like recently.
Abominable?
No, I didn't see that one. It was another one, maybe a few years
I saw
ago.
Joker, Judy, and Abominable on the same night,
Oh
and
my
that was part of why my first review of Joker that I recorded late at night wasn't very good, is because I was in a good mood after watching Judy and
Yeah.
Abominable.
Oh, was that good too? Yeah, no, it was something about, I don't remember what it was. But like, I feel like there were so many Yeti, Sasquatch animated movies coming out somehow. So I was like, oh, not another one, but.
Missing Link was fine. I mean, it's my favorite animated movie. Wasn't up for a Golden Globe, so it's called I Lost My Body. It's on Netflix.
Oh.
I believe it's was on the short list for animated films for the Oscars, so it might end up in there. It's also a foreign film, so it's got captions as well.
And then I don't know how, like, into TV and stuff you are, but I just love Fleabag a lot.
Oh yeah, Fleabag
That is my
wonderful.
favorite.
Yeah.
I'm so sad that it's not coming back.
It's okay. She'll make something else. After Fleabag ended, I went back and watched her previous show, and I liked that one too. It wasn't as good as Fleabag, but it was good. And so I'm assuming she'll do something else good. I'm fine with it.
What else is she in? I mean, I just thought she just did the one-woman Fleabag show or whatever.
She did. Oh, what's the name of it?
Gosh, I thought I saw something.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge made Crashing.
Oh,
That's what it's called. I think it's on either Hulu or Netflix. I forget where I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only 6 episodes.
Oh, okay.
But it's like people that live in buildings that are going to be torn down. So they get like really cheap rent from the city by like just taking care of the building while it's waiting to be demolished or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a bunch of these like poor, like the kind of people that be in the musical Rent. You know?
Yeah.
Or they just need somewhere to crash cheap. But then it's like their various like relationships with each other because it's the same group of people keep ending up in the same buildings together. It was interesting, but only 6 episodes.
Alright, so it'll be short. It'll be okay. And then, yeah, I'm not gonna like go through the whole TV thing, but I do want to say the first, I think it was the first award that was given out for Ramy. I think I tweeted at the actor himself, like, alright, you sold me with that speech, like,
Yeah.
Okay, none of y'all watched my show. It's fine.
I watched the first 2 episodes last night after the
Yeah,
awards.
I was like, alright, that's it. Like,
And the show's cool. It's very simple premise. He's just a young Muslim whose his parents want him to marry a Muslim girl, but he's like, so introduce me to one. And they won't do it, so he just goes out with whoever. And he's living in, I guess it's New York, and so he's not meeting the right people, but he's trying to be a good person.
yeah.
It's pretty good so far. I've only watched 2 episodes, just like I watched 2 episodes of Succession yesterday.
Right.
Which one for drama?
But is that one on like HBO or something?
That's on HBO, yeah.
Yeah. Those ones I don't know if I can get, but I mean, overall, what did you think of Ricky Gervais?
I thought he was great, even when he was. I love that conservatives today were like quoting Ricky Gervais as like going after Hollywood.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's that hypocrisy where like, yes, when the actor says something we like, he's right, but he's right about actors needing to shut up. I'm like, you don't see the irony in liking him saying that, do you?
Right, yeah.
He had, I think he had an even more tired energy than he's had in other years.
Yeah, I like him. I look forward to him.
Like, he's really over being the host.
Yeah, I did not like his energy.
In previous years, it felt like he was pretending that he didn't really want to be there and he's just having a good time. This one, it felt like he really doesn't want to host anymore, but they had a contract and so he's stuck or something.
Yeah.
It felt weird.
Yeah, and I liked his, opening monologue. I mean, I wish he had more energy.
Yeah.
I liked his opening monologue. I think some of there were like 2 little like jokes, like kind of like in the middle, not of that monologue, but just like between awards or whatever. I think one that was, what was it? And I don't care. I mean, he got weird about James Corden and Judi Dench, and I had to look up what the heck did, there's a lot of bleeping going on. What was he talking about? What was Joaquin Phoenix talking about? All that stuff. But it was, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember like the first one. Oh, about the in memoriam that like it was mostly white people, and like the implication, like yes, more people of color should die. Not what he meant, but like that was a weird implication.
Right, that's not what he meant.
Right?
The joke was funny until you think about it the other way and you're like, wait a second.
I think, I think reading it, like, on paper, it's, okay. But yeah, the set of that was so weird. And then the, like, no women directors were...
so then we're just not going to hire any.
Well, maybe women, it ended up being, like, the women, at least we let you broads direct, basically.
But part of the problem with the Golden Globes, and I think it goes to Ricky Gervais, is because people are able to drink during the awards, they either are, by the end of the show, low energy, depending on how they deal with alcohol, or really hyper and willing to say whatever.
Yeah.
And so you get speeches as the show goes that are either really fun or kind of slow.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's what happened with a few people, but like Michelle Williams, for example, had great things to say, but she was speaking like very low energy and kind of quiet. And I'm like, has she had like drinks and she's got low energy? Is she just tired because, she's a mother and an actor, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But and like Ricky Gervais, by the end of the show, it's like, if you want to leave, just leave,
But like, I think what made it worse is that, because at first I was like, oh, well, I'm sure he didn't mean, anything about the women directors, or letting you direct things. But then I think now, kind of like later, you're like, oh, what if he really does mean that? And he means it in a really mean way.
Well, that's also part of his comedy style.
Yeah.
Is like, make people uncomfortable where you're not sure, did he mean that?
Yeah.
And if he did mean it, did he mean it how I think he meant it?
Yeah. The truth in comedy.
Just like the Hollywood thing at the beginning, like, no one cares what you have to say, just get up, take your award, say thank you, and fuck off. It's like, well, sure, except you're also an actor who has been up for a Golden Globe before.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure he has been. So it's that deliberate, like, irony and that some people don't get. And it's an interesting style.
Yeah.
Which can be fun, especially at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
But when he'd come in between things and like making a joke about how the awards are going along, was funny like 20 years ago. But
right, yeah. I'm wondering like who would they even think, who would be a good, I don't know, Golden Globes, Oscar host even. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they're gonna pull out Billy Crystal again.
No, he's got
if they want someone super nice, yeah, he's old, but someone super nice or whatever.
They've had. I mean, Ricky Gervais has been a good host for Golden Globes. Who did? Neil Patrick Harris was pretty good when he did.
I was gonna say Amy Poehler and Tina Fey. I like.
Yeah, they were good.
Good, yeah. I mean, everyone will have something to say.
I would love the idea of like a Bill Hader doing it.
Ooh, yeah,
because he has some comedy that can be a little biting, but he also seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Unlike Ricky Gervais, where I feel like maybe he's kind of a jerk, and that's how he just channels that into his comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
So he can be sort of nice to regular people, but I don't know how nice he'd be as I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of like Seth MacFarlane too. I mean, I know people.
That'd be good.
He was inappropriate.
He can go a bit dumb sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the "We Saw Your Boobs" thing. That was
Well, it's like, what's the dude that used to be on Silicon Valley hosted the Spirit Awards last year? And it was just kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And I was like, ugh, move on.
Yeah, are they gonna get like a talk show host? I don't know.
T.J. Miller.
T.J. Miller.
And he's a bit problematic these days anyway, but
yeah,
he hosted the Spirit Awards. I was like, ugh.
I was gonna say, and then it feels like at some point in the night, they kind of almost have like an audition for who should have been hosting it. Kate McKinnon,
She would be great. I don't know about Oscars, but she'd be good for Golden Globes.
Yeah.
Because it's much more relaxed.
Less regal, yeah.
Yeah.
But so they're not allowed to drink at the Oscars? I guess what makes it really that?
Well, no. You can drink, but you can only drink out in the bar. So the Golden Globes, they have drinks at the table.
Yeah.
And so you can just keep having drinks the whole show and be drinking, and there's food too, but a lot of them don't eat until after.
Yeah.
The Oscars,
Oh yeah, that too.
you have to leave the theater to get a drink.
Mm-hmm.
And so mostly people aren't drinking. Ooh, and this episode has gone long.
Is it? I know. I'm like, now I want like, what else was nominated that we haven't even talked about?
Well, we could continue this conversation, but just be weird, because then it'd be like, now the Critics' Choice Awards have happened, and we don't know who won. Alice, where can listeners hear more from you?
Yeah, so you can find me on my Twitter, Alimezh, ALIMEZH. I've been on a lot of podcasts, Minute and otherwise. And so I'm currently on the Now You've Seen It podcast. I'm a panelist, at least monthly, I would say. So we just released. We're just starting out. We have Alien is out right now. I'm not in that one, but still, if you've seen Alien, listen to that one. Watchmen, that I am in, it should be coming out this week. Maybe by the time this is out, you'll have listened to it. And yeah, and I'll be recording Die Hard, Groundhog Day. I think Die Hard's our Patreon episode. Scott Pilgrim. Forgot what else. Other things. People are recording tons of cool geeky movie things. So yeah.
And I now have an outro, so I ain't gonna tell you who I am, listeners. Thank you for listening. This has been Cock and Bull Minute, a Tristram Shandy story. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Cockbull Minute, or find us in the Facebook listeners group, Cock and Bull Pub. Find more content at lemmingdrops.com.
Lemming Drops.